I still see some more people hopping on. We're going to go ahead and get started just so we can honor your time. My name is Carly Owens. I'm super happy that you are here. This is It's Not All Luck event. And we're just going to popcorn style. I have three amazing women. I'm going to ask 5 questions and we're just going to popcorn answer. We're hoping that this will be done in about 15 minutes. And if you have any specific questions about anything, put it in the chat and we'll try to get to it we we go. Okay, so Kara, Liz, and Emily, they're all three going to answer the first question. So the first question is, when did you start the products and business? Kara, will you start, please?
So I started Plexus, it was January of 2018. I was on maternity leave with a 2-week-old baby. And so I was interested in making some money while on maternity leave, so that we could continue to make our student loan payments when I wasn't working and didn't have an income. And so that was what prompted me to get started.
I love that. So someone who started just for the business. Okay, Liz, when did you start the products in the business?
I started the products in August of 2019. I had struggled with digestive issues for a long time, and so I was just looking for a new probiotic, and so I got started. And then I actually started sharing the products like pretty soon after I got them. I had seen other people in my just in my circle on social media do network marketing, social selling, MLM, whatever you want to call it. I had seen people do this and be successful in it. And I always kind of had in my mind, like, if they could do it, why couldn't I do it? And so I kind of just jumped right into sharing right away.
Ooh, I love that. Okay, Emily, same question.
Okay, so I started the products in August of 2022. I was a teacher for a few years and had stepped away that fall to stay at home with my 3 and my 1-year-old. And I just started the products because I was needing energy to keep up with my toddlers. I didn't realize that it was more exhausting to take care of toddlers than actually like teach a classroom of 20 students. So that was the only reason I started. I knew nothing about gut health. So I didn't know what other benefits were gonna come other than the energy. But I was very surprised that like my migraines were disappearing, my digestive issues were going away. But I wanted nothing to do with the business. And I had told my sponsor, Brianna, that many times. I told her I'm not sharing. I had done network marketing in the past and I had a really bad experience with it. Just didn't feel supported and didn't make anything from it. And so I just had nothing to want to do with the business. And then was actually invited on an opportunity call just like this one, and my eyes were open to seeing just how amazing Plexus is, how amazing the community is. And so that's really what sparked my interest in the business.
I love that. I was the same way. So I told Kara I signed up and it took me 2 years. I watched her for 2 years and I signed up in my driveway and I just looked at her because we live in the same town. I was like, I'm not selling. And she was like, okay. And I was like, oh, but I'm being serious. I think I said it 3 times, right, Kara? Like, I'm not going to sell. She's like, you don't have to. And I was like, okay. But then once I felt better, I was like, I know so many of my friends and family struggle with these things. So I have to share it. So yeah, skeptical is definitely how I felt. Okay, so we kind of already touched on, did you start for the business or for the products? I kind of want to hear, I'm putting Kara on the spot here. So you started for the business, and what was your whole goal with doing that? Like, what prompted you to reach out to Emily? Like, why did you want to do?
So number one, I didn't know what Plexus was. I lived in Arkansas and did not know what Plexus was. And so that's number one. I had just randomly seen her post that and she had said something about if you have made $500 a month with Plexus, comment below. And there were like 40 people that had commented on that post. And I was like, that's a lot of people that are making $500. Like I could like $500, that's an extra $6,000 towards our loans that we could be paying off. And so I was like, I'm all for it. I trusted Emily. I knew that she wasn't trying to just scam people. Like I just knew her. And so I reached out to her and I said, look, I don't even know what Plexus is, but I want you to tell me more about this business. I didn't think I needed products. I had just come off a really like healthy pregnancy, healthy delivery. I was feeling good postpartum. Like I didn't have any major health struggles. But after I was consistent on the products, because I didn't want to sell something that I wasn't taking myself. So I was like, learning about the products, being a product of the product, and being consistent, I felt even better than I was feeling. And things that were just my normal things like went away, like headaches. I just kind of had those randomly and they were gone. I had energy. I was saying no to ice cream. You guys. And so that was just not me. But that's the reason. I just trusted Emily and I thought, yes, well, why can't I make $500 a month?
I love that. I love it. Okay. I love all y'all stories. Okay. So the third question is, what does a day in the life of the business look like for you? So Emily, can we start with you? What does a day in the life of doing your Plexus business look like for you?
Okay, so I now have 3 kiddos. And so I'm pretty much staying at home with them for the most part. I do work part-time in education and it changes on the daily basis. So I'm doing different things every day. It's not the same, never the same. But I basically, I work my business whenever my kids allow me to. So sometimes that looks like waking up early and just sending some messages in the morning. Sometimes I'm checking on customers as I'm driving my daughter to preschool. I'm sending voice messages. Voice messages are my best friend right now because I can do them while I'm doing the dishes or in the car or like while I'm changing a diaper, whatever. And so it's very, very different, very random right now. And I know one day I'll have all this amazing time, but right now it's just kind of fitting it into the crevices of my day. I do get together with my sponsor Brianna quite a bit, and we will like meet at a coffee shop or like do events together. And so those are more of my focus times. But when I'm with my kids, it's just random.
Relatable. Okay, Liz.
So I've been doing this 4.5 years now, and so there's been lots of different seasons. I'm a stay-at-home mom. I've homeschooled 2 of my daughters while doing this. We're foster providers. We've had different foster kids in and out, and we've had a newborn, and so it's all different seasons. But early on in my business, I committed to connecting with 3 to 5 new people about Plexus a day. When I realized like what gut health can do and that I was basically sitting on a gold mine because gut health is related to so many health issues and the products work, I was like, I have to tell people about this. And so that's what I did. So I committed to talking to 3 to 5 new people about Plexus a day and just asking if they have any issues that the products might help them with. And then following up with people that I had talked to previously. And so sometimes that looked like, when my husband walked in the door from work, like, hey, I need 30 minutes quick, and just running and doing that work. Then sometimes that looked like staying up late at night and skipping the Netflix show and working my business. Some days that looks like 4 hours of work. It just kind of goes in seasons and depends what that looks like. But I had goals, and has every minute been worth it? Yeah, like it's worth it to commit to it because I'm in Florida right now visiting my parents. We just went on a Disney cruise as our family, like all of these things that we would not have been able to do. I not started sharing Plexus and been committed to doing it. And I think my commitment came because I just like, I knew that other people had done this, and if other people could do it, I could do it too. And so I committed and I worked hard. But every day and every season looks different, but just find a way to make it work.
I love that. Thank you for sharing, Liz. Kara, what does a day in the life of the business look like for you?
So like Liz, I've been doing this for a long time, so been 6 years. So it's definitely changed. I have worked this business alongside a full-time job. I have worked this business alongside a part-time job, and now I'm working this business as a stay-at-home mom. So full-time mom. And so it has looked very different. And basically all the same things that the other two have said, of just committing to make sure that I get the work in. And we know what the work is. It's sending the messages, posting about, it gave me a thumbs up. Sorry about that. Sending messages, posting about Plexus, following up, training myself, watching videos. When I was working full time, that looked like a lot at night after I put my kids to bed. My husband and he would watch a basketball game, and I would work. Or, now that it's my kids, I'm home with my kids, I try to squeeze it into rest time. And so it just really looks different, but just making the commitment to do the work, just to do it.
Yes, commitment. Like I think all the time, if they can do it, I can do it. Let me tell you a little funny story. Literally just went to the bathroom like right before, and I was washing my hands, and I smiled, and I had a big like black thing in my teeth, and I was like, good golly, I'm glad I checked. But I was like, but if I got on here with like a big black thing in my teeth and like let a call, like anybody can do this business, y'all. Anybody can do this business. Black things in your teeth and all. Okay, so what is your favorite thing about doing this business? Liz.
Okay. I love that it's just always like, who's it gonna be? That's fun. It keeps it fun. Lacey says she works in her PJs a lot. I do too. I totally have my PJs on, but I put my zip up on just to be a little more appropriate for you all. So here I am with my wet hair in my PJs. So what is my favorite thing about doing this business? I love the freedom that it provides. I love that I can do it in my PJs from bed right now. I love that although like, yeah, I need to work and I need to be committed to and be like faithful with those activities, like I can do it when it works for me. And if we get a call for a kiddo, or if I've got a sick kiddo, or I've got a special needs daughter that needs me one day, like I can take a day off. I can go, see my parents who live across the country from me, like all of these things that like I just love the freedom it provides for our family. Yeah, I have to work, but I can work when it works for my family, and having that flexibility is like just invaluable to our family, 100%. I also love getting to work with women who are just like encouraging and escape the March snow for real. Kind and like just the growth opportunity that's here that I wouldn't have if I wasn't doing this. I think those are my favorite. I like freedom.
Kara.
So there are lots of things that I love about it, but I want to talk about one specific thing that I don't feel like is talked a lot about around in Plexus. And so being in the healthcare field previously, I'm a PT. I often found myself feeling frustrated with like what I was doing, like wasn't actually making a difference. Like I was working at a rehab and people would leave and go home, and then 6 weeks later they were coming right back because like just their health was just not great. And so I felt like what I was doing didn't make a huge difference. And there were times that obviously PTs make a huge difference. And so I'm not saying that by any means, but there were times that I felt that way. And so I love sharing Plexus because it really does change people's lives. The first time I had a coworker of mine, she was the charge nurse. She came up to me and she said, Kara, I finally feel myself again. I've been able to get off my depression medication because I just don't need it. And numerous stories of like just being able to have a really small part in that, like that is really big. And that's one of my favorite parts about Plexus.
I love it. Oh, it's so beautiful. Okay, Emily.
Okay, I totally echo what the other two said about flexibility. I was able to grow my business when I was 9 months pregnant and just kind of waiting for this guy to come out. And then like when I had him as a newborn, like I was growing my business with a newborn on my chest. That was probably one of my biggest months that I've had in Plexus, was just because I had the time to message people, and I wasn't having to show up somewhere. I was able to work from wherever we were. And so the flexibility and just being able to work anytime, anywhere is such a blessing. And I also have loved the mindset growth. I have told people that I don't think I've ever grown so much in my mindset as I have in the last year and a half with Plexus. Just in my confidence and in just having that growth mindset. My husband has also grown with me because he listens to the same podcast I'm listening to. I'll just throw them on and he's listening to them too. And then also with my husband, I've been able to take him on 2 trips now with Plexus. And we have never, like that was never on our radar. We like, especially with having 3 little kids, like we did not have trips planned for the next 10 years. And so to be able to go on to all expense paid trips in a matter of like they were like 4 months apart was such a blessing. And we as like our marriage has grown stronger too.
So beautiful. Okay. So last question, to wrap it up. If you could go back to right before you decided you wanted to do the business and tell yourself one thing, what would it be, Kara?
So this was not on my radar at all until it was. And so what I wrote down when you asked that was, even though this is something you've never been interested in or considered at all, this is going to be what God uses to change things for your family. So embrace it. Don't give up and be okay to be misunderstood and to learn new things.
I have goosebumps. Liz?
Just do it. Like if you have that little nudge, if you have that little fire in your belly, like just do it. Do it not knowing what to expect, do it like feeling a little scared, but do it with like commitment and grit because it's so worth it. And yeah, just the stories of the lives you can change, the thing, like so much. It is so worth it. So quit thinking and just do it, but do it with commitment.
So good. Emily?
I tell myself not to overcomplicate things. Right away, I was like, okay, there's got to be this like secret formula of like why these people are so successful, and there's got to be a certain like I need to be this certain personality, and I need to do all these things to get myself out there. And the action steps are so simple. Anyone can do this if you're consistent and you're taking the daily steps. You're talking with the person who invited you to do the business with them. It's really not that complicated. It's just being committed and doing those daily actions.
Yes. Yes and amen. I love it all. So that is all we have for you. If you have any questions specifically about one of our stories or anything about the business, or maybe someone you came, like I invited you and I didn't really talk about and answer these questions. You're like, hey, I kind of want to know Carly's answer. reach out to the person who invited you, and I'm more than welcome to share more about how this business has blessed our lives. And so, yeah, thank you so much for spending your Thursday evening with us, and we hope you have a good evening. Bye.